Hi everyone, can you believe it? We're at number 40 in the Queen 50 series. That means I only have 10 left. And beginning to feel a little bit nostalgic already, especially with the experience of having heard some of their forays into the more modern then styles in this album. I begin to feel like Radio Gaga is appropriate for this whole project. Don't give up on the old style, and the whole series is coming to an end. What am I going to do after that? I won't be doing this I've gotten attached to Queen, haven't I? Fortunately, there are plenty of other Queen songs I haven't heard yet, which I'm sure I will hear in the future. But still, this series is going to be ended. Well, I have 10 more songs. I'll enjoy it while it lasts. This one is Who Wants to Live Forever? And I guess that was the other singles hit of this album. Who Wants to Live Forever was written by Brian May for the soundtrack to the film Highlander. I was going to try to guess who wrote this before I sat down to read, but I forgot. Anyway, Brian May. In the backseat of his car, after seeing a 20-minute first cut of the scene of Heather's death, Queen was backed up by an orchestra, with orchestrations by film score composer Michael Kamen. May sings lead vocals on the first verse before Mercury takes over. They're partnering with the voices, with May also singing But Touch My Ears With Your Lips during Mercury's verse, and the closing line, Who Waits Forever Anyway? This sounds a bit like a love song. In 2014, Rolling Stone readers voted it their 5th favorite song by Queen, and in 2018 it was listed at number 15 in the top 20 Queen songs of all time by Smooth Radio. In a 2005 poll conducted by digital television station Music Choice on what song Britons would most like played at their funeral, the song was voted the 5th most popular. All right, this has me intrigued. Well, written in the backseat of his car after seeing the first cut of Heather's death. Well, I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know who Heather is, but obviously it left an impression on him, and he just sat down in the car quickly. I assume he didn't sit down with pencil and paper to write it out on paper. Probably he sat down with his guitar and started picking out lines and coming up with it right on the spot. Let's see what it sounds like.
There's no time for us. There's no place for us. What is this thing that builds our dreams, yet slips away from us? Who wants to live forever? Who wants to live forever? There's no chance for us. It's all decided for us. This world has only one sweet moment set aside for us. Who wants to live forever?
Wow. What an incredible build-up and sequencing of growth through that portion. So smooth. And in fact, they did such a great job trading off voices, first verse to second verse, that I was hardly aware that the voice changed at first. Yes, I could hear that it wasn't Freddie's voice at the beginning. But then the second verse came in, I didn't really notice that it was his voice that took over until it started to build. And then his signature vibrato came through and it was like, oh, wow, this is incredible. And those little muffled drum beats set just at the right moment. So nice. But here's what caught me at the end is when this guitar comes in this last bit.
Who dares to love forever?
There, that. Bing! Right there. Right in the middle of all this sweeping orchestral sound. And the string orchestra was a great choice, wasn't it? For this kind of, it has a real kind of great pastoral film score quality, as if you're looking on over some grand scenes, and the film is showing these vast expanses of, I don't know, mountain ranges and valleys and beautiful scenery, and it's kind of romantic and sentimental and dramatic. Nothing's coming to mind right now except for the opening scenes of The Sound of Music. But it's kind of that feeling, only a bit more, a little less bombastic than that, at least so far.
Who dares to love forever? When love must die.
All right, that goes in my short list of some of the best, most organic marriages between rock instruments such as guitar and drums and classical orchestral writing. It is seamless. Everything belongs where it belongs. The placement of the instruments and the way they're woven together is so incredibly natural. Let's see. It was orchestrated by film score composer Michael. Film score composer. That completely slipped my mind. I didn't remember that. Of course, no wonder it sounds like it has this sort of film score quality to it, right? But the marriage of the two styles of music is flawless. I couldn't make it better. I couldn't find fault with it. It doesn't feel like it's some sort of exercise in linking things together. What was that one that the progressive or it wasn't Metallica that did. Who was it that did that symphony or concerto for
Deep Purple.
Deep Purple. Which I listened to one of those movements and it was good in its own way, but this somehow feels so much better than what they did. And it doesn't feel like it was set out to be kind of a new development. It just feels like it came naturally out of the whole musical vision. And that's what I love, is when music feels so organic and natural, instinctive. We don't end up being caught by the novelty of it, the inventiveness of it, the creativity of it. We are caught by the music itself. And this is one of those that really caught me that way. I guess I only stopped once, didn't I? Well, let's go back through, because there are a few other things I want to comment about now that I've heard all the way through. And of course, I love the sentiment of the lyrics as well. I guess the key line is, forever is our today. When it comes to, there's no time, this thing that builds our dreams and yet slips away from us. We don't have time. There's no chance. It's going to come to an end. Who wants to live forever? Who wants to live forever? And just when we feel like, this is so perfect, and yet it's taken from us too soon, when we don't agree to it, then suddenly we come to this line. When it comes to love, we can have forever. We can love forever. And forever is our today. I think that is the essence of the entire piece. And I love that. Well, all right, here we go.
There's no time for
There's this little hint of a pulse, which I didn't notice the first time around, but now that I've heard it through and heard how the drum has this sort of muffled boom, boom. We don't hear the drum pulsing here, but there's a slight hint to that kind of pulse. Listen.
there's no
Boom, boom. There is a bit of a pulse there.
there's no time for us. There's no place for us. What is this
very reflective, meditative. Organ does give it this kind of quality of it could work at a funeral. Strings. That line, who wants to live forever? Who wants to live forever? We don't know it here, but it is the first iteration of what's going to become the climactic outpouring later in the piece.
There's no chance for us. It's all decided for us.
And these drums, boom, boom. Again, a sort of funeral march quality, isn't it? You can't decide. Is this a funeral march, or is this a heartbeat? Which one is it? And it's left open to interpretation. I think it's meant to evoke both of them at the same time.
There's no chance for us. It's all decided for us. This world has only one sweet moment set aside for us. Want to live forever.
The strings carries that cello coming in there. And again, I completely forgot to comment when it happened on the switch between voices. As I said, it's so seamless, I don't notice it until here. Then it sinks into my consciousness. Oh, yes, the voices have changed. Let's go back, and I'm going to make myself remember to pay attention to the transition one voice to the next. Okay, here we go. This is Brian May.
There's no chance.
Now this is Freddie.
All decided for us.
And this drum.
This world has only
And now there's a little hint of the signature vibrato.
sweet moment set aside for us.
And he is doing a beautiful job of not over dramatizing it, not over sentimentalizing it. He's keeping himself focused, and it was a wonderful choice, I think, to put May at first with a little bit of a less theatrical voice to open it. But now, as the piece begins to build, we hear Freddie taking over, because we need his voice at the climax. It has to be Freddie's voice at the climax. But he's not going to that side too soon. He's keeping it contained, and he's letting us stay focused on this very kind of looking deep as far as our eyes can see into the universe, into the unknown. We could say eternity, if you wish. And this drum beat, boom, boom, as I said, is it a funeral march, or is it a heartbeat, or is it the eternal pulse of the universe? Is it a sort of looking so far out into eternity that we we reach the end of our ability to see, and yet we know it goes on forever. And all of this is brought into this without actually saying it. But it's the mix, the sonic mix, and the careful placing of the voices. Really well done.
Moment set aside for us. Who wants to live?
This is a sort of a breathless. We've just looked as far into eternity as we can fathom, and then the question: who wants to live forever? Like, is that even something we could comprehend? What a concept! Listen to his voice here.
Set aside for us. Who wants to live forever? Who wants to live forever?
And this little bit of I don't know, is it brushing on the cymbals a little bit? I don't know. There's a little bit of that sound in the percussion corner, and it's as if it's the end of this question: who wants to live forever? And as we consider forever, we see forever go on before us, and of course the strings carry us through.
Who wants to live forever?
And now the strings carry on the question. And this bit of brass there, mellow, warm. It's the perfect choice to add some depth to it, a little bit more resonance beyond the strings. Really excellent. I guess I have to credit Michael Kamen for this, right? And now it's good. Now that guitar there, sweeping up. Actually, that would be a perfect place to hold on. Let's see what key you're in. Right? It could have been the harp doing that, but it's the guitar. I guess that's the first time I feel like the signature rock instrument, electric guitar, is suddenly functioning in the same, sitting in the same seat as the orchestral harpist. Listen to this. Something else, right? That was totally an orchestral harp moment. The guitar filled the role. That's what I'm talking about. How naturally and organically and effortlessly this piece is orchestrated between the two kinds of instruments. Even the drums, I don't know if this bum bum is actually a timpani or if it's the bass drum being hit very, very muffled on the drum set. I can't quite tell. But there's this sense of unity between the two sides, which excites me because I firmly believe that every instrument has a place and that instruments can be fit together in a way that is complementary and natural and effective. And I think this is just a beautiful example of how it can be done. When love must die and everything fades away, and then we come to this kind of reflective guitar moment, don't we? The drums here. The guitar. And these big strikes on the drums. Used so well. It feels like it belongs. The way the guitar is coming through here. It's moving more towards the classic rock distortion sound, isn't it? But it fits so well. I mean, the truth is, we have these kinds of sounds to some extent in the older classical instruments. Think pipe organ, think bassoon, think in that direction. And so of course the guitar can be made to work, but it takes somebody with instinct and skill to set it, because clearly you're not writing in a purely rock nor a purely classical style. So you have to find a way to blend the two that is not artificial. This is what I love about this. I keep coming back to this. It's so well done.
Your lips touch my wall with your fingertips, and
it gives it the bass and the power. And the pounding drums work so well. And then it winds up again. Off we go. This time with a chorus. Listen to that little bit of just a little bit of echo. And we might expect here, notice the similarities between this. Right? Now we jump ahead. It's the same line in the strings, isn't it? And what we had at this first one was a new wave of this question, who wants to live forever? It's a new wave rolling in, rolling over us. And here it comes again. So, in rhetoric, in speaking, there is this pattern of threes. If we want to emphasize something, if we want to, be a little bit dramatic, poetic, excessive. I've just done it. Dramatic, poetic, excessive. Perhaps excessive wasn't the best choice, but I just had to come up with something, right? You often hear things stated or repeated in groups of three. Let me see if I can come up with another example. Good, powerful, in your face, or the evening was so warm and heavy, and there was a dampness in the air, or there, you get the idea. And if you find yourself emphasizing something in speech, you often find yourself doing it in threes. Now, why do I say that? Because here, in this climax, we had this first one starting from round about here, building up. Forever. You even heard sort of a three of forever. Now here's the second one. Forever. 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 And listen to this thing. And if we were to continue this pattern of threes, it would be very easy to do yet another third wave of this, right? Could even work as a way to close out the song. Because of that, the fact that it doesn't do a third wave breaks the predictability of it. Instead, da-dum-bum, and then the harmony shifts a little bit. Darkens it down.
Who is forever anyway?
And then we go into this. Who is forever? This guitar, the drums underneath, the brass, the strings. Ooh, that darkening into a minor. The organ. Growing. And now finally it comes. But instead of taking us to the question again, at the peak, it brings us down. And it's gathering us towards the end. And I feel like it will end here. Boom, boom. Again, this pulse. Boom, boom. Looking into eternity. What happens? This, with some organ, and it suddenly feels like we have left the earthy, the passionate, the love, all of this that has been pouring out of us, and suddenly our gaze is off into the galaxy. The change in tonal coloring here with the instrumentation gives us this kind of quality of stardust. It's the mysterious. And we feel like this point, we are gazing out into the vast expanse of the unknown. And we know that forever is our today. Who waits forever anyway? And we all know that we are, without a doubt, mortal beings. I won't take it beyond death because that's an unknown in many ways. But there's one way which we find in this song in which we can touch eternity. We can touch a kind of immortality. We can taste it. We can feel it. We can almost live it. And that is through love. Forever is our today. Who waits forever anyway? Today. What an incredible rendition of this concept. And well, you might have sensed in my last few listens in this project that I was kind of taken aback and perhaps even feeling a bit of disorientation, possibly even disappointment in the musical style and direction. What a beautiful surprise to happen upon this piece now, and to realize that, okay, Queen is still Queen, and they're still capable of handing us an exquisitely beautiful, deeply moving, and incredibly special piece of music. Who wants to live forever? I'll see you soon.